Hey, Doge. How are you? I'm good. I think... Yeah, I did this after stream last week. I have a new stand for my monitors. Built it, last Sunday. It is very nice and far better than the, thin bits of wood nailed together I was previously using. I actually have space for my mouse and keyboard now. Yeah. And also, over the week, I've been working on a couple... Well, I've done a couple of woodworking projects. And part of today's stream is going to be showing them off. At least somewhat. Hi, Raza! And that's 3-minute mark, so I'm going to switch to live. Yep, there we go. So, you know, how I made this image here, that I'm using for my, stream starting ending for art ones. I'm basically gonna do the same thing on this stream, but for one of two new images. So it's either this one or this one, which is the two woodworking projects I was working on over the last week. Well, I'm not sure yet. I'm kind of gonna leave it up to your choice. So yeah. The two swords, training swords, that's what they're used for. Like, broadsword here, yeah, it is heavy. Like, it is heavier than an actual sword. And it's still weighted correctly. Like, the center of mass is around... Hold up, let me grab out the red pen. Center of mass is around here. On the blade. Wait, sorry. Around here on the blade. Come on, move up. There we go. Yeah, center of mass is at around this red line here. And that's because of these two bolts here. And I drew a 2 on the 2 bolts. Did the stream crash? Oh no, it's very close to. It might. It's barely not crashing, yeah. Let's give it a moment. I think it might just barely... We survived. It looks like we survived. That's crazy. Cool, we avoided a crash. Anyway, you can actually see the original sword in the background. Originally, it was this one, and we have a better view here. But again, I need a shift sketch above reference. So yeah, that was the original sword, and I actually stole the bolts here from that sword. And you can kind of see how long the bolts were. When this sword was fully assembled, the center of mass was around there, so it was closer to the guard, which made it quicker. I don't know how to describe it properly, but it made it easier to turn. Other than just, this is of much lighter wood, like in terms of weight. And the cool part is, this one held up really well in actual practice sword fights. The only reason it's not working now is because there is a hairline crack on both sides of the plywood, so that it's only the centralmost layer of the ply holding the handle to the rest of the sword on this one. And this one won't have that problem because the plywood is far stronger. Like, it is... I'm pretty sure it's some kind of construction ply. So it is far stronger. It's also weightier, like I said. And despite that, the bolts still put the center of balance pretty nice on it, which I think is awesome. And for the rapier, I actually made that one first. It was honestly just getting the shape down for this part of the guard. This bit is just a disc of plywood, basically. Hi, Eye Doctor. I'm nerding out about the swords I've made over the last week. And oh, you can actually see some of the material, like this material here, the wood I'm using for the guard here. It's the same stuff that's being used for my monitor stands. So yeah, you can see that. It was actually pretty hard to make the guards, because I had to drill a hole here that went along about that deep, and then I had to go from the other side and drill a hole about yay, and that was before I cut out everything. Because if I cut out everything before drilling the holes, I'm pretty sure the entire thing would have snapped. Anyway, you can't actually see it, but there's a screw poking through here to keep the guard attached to the handle guard. So yeah. Anyway, we're going to be drawing over one of these, and I'm not sure which one yet. What do you guys think? Longsword or rapier? Which one should I draw over? Yeah, but I still want your guys' input. That's why I asked. Why would I ask if I didn't want your input? The rapier? That's one vote for rapier, one neutral. 2 votes for rapier. Nice. So we're doing rapier, I guess. Now, if I'm just going to reference this image real quick. Yeah, I did do an outline and then the coloring. So that's what we're going to do again. Oh, there's a sneaky bit of red there. Which angle? The one I had, the angle I have the rapier at, or the angle I twisted the image around? Oh, this is gonna be tough. If I fade that a bit, yeah, that actually works really well. Yeah, he didn't. That's kind of funky on his part. Let me up that a bit. Let's drop the opacity of that. Oh no. It blends in too well with my floor. That is so hard to tell the edge of. Damn. Here it gets easier, but it's also a bevel. Oh. Flipped around there for me. Interesting. Alright, let's up that. Oh, that's part of reference. That's part of the reference image. So is that. That's a little hole there. I should really stop adding all this detail. We're still in broad strokes. We're still in the broad strokes section of this. Also, going back to the mods ban that guy comment, there's currently no mods but myself. Like, I'm the only mod on this stream currently. It's just not enough messages. Yeah, I realize. I just still felt like I should clarify that. I don't know why. Sometimes I just be like that. Yeah. Hey, if at some point I grow enough that I need mods, the only real rules they'll have is ban anyone who's spamming or trying to promote something. Dunno. Is very strange. Hate speech. Well, here's the thing. I want you to be able to, like, insult each other in the chat. Like, and have, like, little insult battles. So it's gonna be kinda hard to pick up on hate speech. Well, I mean very specifically, insults. Like, only spewing insults against each other. Like, for these sort of insult battles. Okay, if someone starts saying slurs, then yeah. Like, it'll also depend on the slur, because some of them really aren't that bad. Although I'm not sure which ones those would be. Just pretty sure there are some not that bad slurs. Don't ask me what they are, because I don't know. But I'm just pretty sure they exist. If I step back slightly and remove reference, that's already pretty good. No, this is going to be difficult. Maximize that. Drop sketch opacity. Luckily, that's pretty much just a straight line. I can fix up the opacities again. Actually, let's leave that fully active. Alrighty. Sorry, I'm just catching off on chat. Yes, bad joke. Also funny joke. Um, would that be considering desaturating? Sorry, I've just got distracted by changing the opacity of the reference image. Would it be considered changing saturation, like the saturation of the image? Sorry, I probably confused everyone with my question on desaturating. Basically, saturation is how much color is coming through. Yeah, it is. Now, what I'm asking is reducing the opacity considered desaturating? Because it does desaturate the reference image by a decent bit. It's really hard to tell how much changing opacity desaturates the image. At least I can't tell. No, it doesn't really matter that much. It really doesn't matter. It's just sort of a random thought I've had. I had. Blah, 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 blah. Should really make more use of the of rotating the image. Do, do. Let's see. Yeah, that's very nearly an in rather than an out. Very straight. Ooh, getting there. Forgot I hadn't finished off these fingers. Ah, going good so far, I think. Now for the hard part. A very long, straight section. Nice. Stretch. See that my Discord has nothing on it. Quick drink of water. Always need a quick drink of water. And then back to it. Well, that added a lot. Maybe remove that one. Yeah. Okay, reference needs to be faded a bit. Okay, with shading, that'll look really good. Yeah, I reckon also a little one in there. Definitely along that ridge. Sort of like that. And that line comes from lighting. Ones I've made there come from folds. Well, not really. Let's remove those ones and these ones. And these ones. I can extend that down there. That one down there. Yeah, way less noise, still communicates the shape. So one there. There we go, that's better. Cool. Should I do the background as well as the main focus? Because the background has a lot in it. Like, background has guitar, sword, shelf with the whip, more shelf, that thing with the pair of socks, weapon board. So should we do the background as well? I'm tempted to also do the background, but that will, like, triple how long this takes. Background adds character? As in add to the background, Razza? I can maybe add some chaos stuff. And there's also things I'm going to remove, like the sock. I did not mean to keep a pair of socks sitting on that little bench thing. But oh well. Alright, since we're doing the background, let's start by adding the swords here. Damn, 5k channel points? That is a good amount. I really need to add more things for you to do with those channel points other than TTS. Because while TTS is nice, no one seems to use it. Yeah. I pay too close attention to the chat in order for it to have any benefit. Damn, nearly 7k, eye doctor? That is impressive. Nearly 10k. Yeah, I think Raza has more. Yeah, I kind of figured that Raza would pretty much always be lurking. Like, he tends to lurk. And also, he tends to be doing his own thing in the background, so yeah, I'm genuinely not surprised he's a lurker. Yeah, see, he's always doing something. Like Helldivers 2. I should really try out Helldivers 2. Okay. Ooh. Warhammer crossover? That is very nice. Sorry, I'm just quickly saving the file. Ugh, sorry. Working on stream art. Let's call this... Let's call this Rapier Paint Over. Okay, Doge practicing peak. And Eye Doctor, what coordinate system? Because so far as I know, there's only two, polar and Cartesian. Unless you're doing, like, imaginary numbers, but that's still a Cartesian coordinate space. Tangential and normal. Interesting. How does that... How would a tangential normal-based coordinate system work? I guess you'd have a reference tangent and normal, and that's... And then everything... I'm guessing there's no... Wait. So... Looking at a particle on a nonlinear path, you consider it at its current location. So the tangent and normal describes where you are on the path, I'm guessing. But then, what if on the path there are multiple sections that have the same tangent normal, the same tangent and normal? What about that case? Because I can very easily see it being impossible to differentiate those two separate locations if they have the same tangent and normal. Because they would, right? Unless I'm misunderstanding how it's... Okay, so you... Oh, I'm still trying to figure it out. Because, like, let's take a sine wave. Excellent drawing, I know. Let's take this point on this line, that intersection point. It has A, and if we go here, that is also A. So I'm trying to figure out how you distinguish between those 2 points. Okay, if it's more about understanding velocity acceleration, that makes more sense, because acceleration velocity, yes, it's dependent on position, especially if you're in a variable force field, but it doesn't matter if there are repeating units, because you're just looking at velocity, like you're not looking at speed in that instance. So it makes a bit more sense. Yeah, so it's not about looking at position changes directly, it's more about looking at velocity acceleration. Okay, yeah. So it doesn't really matter if there are multiple... If you can't distinguish between 2 points, because we don't care about position. Yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm sorry, I'm just questioning my intelligence right now. I'm questioning how smart I am, because I feel like this is something that is kind of difficult to understand unless taught, and I think I just eyeballed it, like logicked my way to how it's supposed to function with a couple hints. Weird. I'm gonna continue assuming I'm a bit of a dumbass. Eh. Depends on the field. Definitely depends on the field. When it comes to social stuff, I am absolutely the biggest dumbass you'll ever find. I am clueless. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. It's more of a dent than a actual deliberate box. Sorry, I'm just trying to deal with this little section. It is definitely mostly a dent, because the way I carved it out is, if I bring up this, I basically got the bolts here. I'm using the eraser. I basically got the bolts, and at the end of the bolts, it's kind of sharp, and I basically just sort of scraped away at that section in order to create a little slot for them. Which, it worked, but it probably wasn't the best way I could have done it, to the point where I didn't do it for my new sword. I actually brought out some chisels and a hammer. Definitely worked way better when I used chisels. Who would have guessed that using proper tools for a job made the job way easier. And just generally nicer. Though, I mean, it's not like you could see this ugly channel in the middle of the hilt. Because the binding hit it. And actually, the binding was the same blue cord that's here. I used this blue cord to bind that handle. Can you tell this sword kind of just ran out of lifespan and I needed a new one? Because that is what happened. This one kind of just died. Specifically by the hairline cracks. That was the point where I was like, yeah, this is completely a display sword now, and I want to be able to whack stuff with it. Because, you know, fun. And I just realized something. That is a reflective surface. That's going to be fun to color. Oh boy. We are past the 1 hour mark, so I'm gonna tell everyone to stand and stretch. Have a drink of water if you have water near you. And now we are back to it. Oh, it was. Funny coincidence. Actually, how warm is it over there? Because, like, hot chocolate, I feel like it's a little too warm for hot chocolate. Like, just barely. Like, yeah, it's cold winter day, but I feel like it's just warm enough that a hot chocolate is too hot, you know? Definitely is where I am, but my computer's acting as a space heater. Always does. Always will. Okay, I won't have to do that much messing with reflections, thankfully. Oh yeah, those curve inward. I need to rotate. That is a really awkward angle. Yeah, okay, yeah. Lukewarm chocolate. Horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. I would, yeah, no, ew. If you like a lukewarm chocolate, yeah, just no. Bad. Do not. Ew. To be honest, I don't have any other solution. Like, I still feel like it's barely, and I mean just barely too warm for hot chocolate. But only just. Hmm. Ah, yeah. Having no chocolate also sucks. Let me straighten that out, zoom out, and close reference. Ooh. Ooh. Back over to here. Just realized I'm doing a rotoscope. Like, this is rotoscoping. And a bit extra. But it is still fundamentally just rotoscoping. Beep. Beep. I really like my hand. I really like the little details I've added to my hand. Eh. Like the folds, the cloth. We'll see when I add the shading. Well, it should look much better when I add shading. I reckon guitar time. Okay, you can see the E and A strings pretty clearly, but you can't really see the DGB high E strings. Also, yeah, jumping back. Yeah, the sketch looks good as is, but it'll really pop off when we add color. Well, when I add color, you guys aren't drawing anything, you're just sort of here. Alright, let's see if doing this... No, it doesn't increase the contrast. That's annoying. Kind of have to just sort of follow the contours of the front. I think I got it. I think I got the curve right. Let's go! Yep. I'm going good, Doge. Say the only thing I'm really worried about at the moment is my job isn't giving me any shifts. Or at least they're not giving me any shifts when I'm available, which is really annoying. Yeah, it sucks. No, the annoying part is my job is trying to give me shifts. they're just setting the times, like they're just trying to give me shifts at times when I've explicitly told them I'm unavailable. So, yeah. It sucks. Did you guys hear that? Someone's being an asshole and revving their engine very loud. Yeah, also, manager versus reading comprehension. It isn't even a full manager, because I'm with an agency. And it's just the person who's managing... Oh, wait. No, that is a manager. Never mind. I'm being dumb. I do know that the person who's assigning me shifts is overseas, because they keep calling me at like 1 a.m. Yeah, 1 a.m. Yeah, it sucks. I'm gonna probably try and find... Well, I am gonna try and find a new job. It's just gonna be difficult because I have TAFE, so I'm unavailable 3 days of the week. So that makes it hard to get anything other than casual, and casual jobs, it's not guaranteed to get time. What kind of job? Bread factory. Been mostly doing, like, you know what? I'm not gonna say. Because I feel like any more than bread factory is too much information. I like my privacy. Yeah, free bread is nice. Dang it, why do these have to be rotated in such weird positions? Code's going good. Haven't really touched it since stream, last week. That's mostly because I've been doing other things. Mostly Minecraft. I haven't really touched vanilla recently because it's kind of gotten to the point where I don't really want to play vanilla unless it's the worlds I've been playing on stream. You know, like getting stuck into a world, and I've gotten stuck into them on stream, and I want to stay on those, but I also don't want to play on them unless I'm on stream, which I don't really want to do. Vicious cycle. For when I want to just chill. And if I want to not do a stream, I still have to, like, record it. Because... I've also gotten partly hooked on Create. I haven't really done much of it, though. Which is very sad. Yikes. Well, let's move reference and zoom out a bit. Guitar pretty good so far. Looking very off with out those. There we go. Very nice. Still not done with the guitar though. Oh, what? Okay. I'm sure there's a bump here. There's definitely a bump here. I gotta remember that we're looking at this circle at an angle, so of course it's not going to be an actual circle. At least I can't draw it like an actual circle, because it's an oval. Good enough. Oh man. So far, we've done this. We've still got... Let's bring out the red. Still got this. 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 The lines for the cupboard. Probably the corner here. That's probably a good idea. The weapon wall. Little box thing here. And that's just for sketches. That's just the sketches. That's not including the ridiculous amount of coloring and shading I also have to do. That's gonna be fun. We are not completing this today. I will say that now. We will not complete this today. We do not... There is not enough time left. Or at least I'm not willing to dedicate enough time to fully complete this today. There may be spontaneous late night streams this week. Where I'm just working on this. And if there are, well, there are. Anyway, let's do this corner shelf because I think it may be pretty easy. I immediately need to drop opacity so that I can see what I'm doing. Also, no crashes today yet. That is very nice. We've had a couple close shaves, but no actual crashes. Which I do believe is very nice. I just realized, I don't think I've ever shown my interim setup, the one between the cardboard boxes and the one I currently have. And I haven't even shown the one I currently have. Huh. I might show him at some point. Maybe. Probably not. But maybe. You can hope. I reckon it's going like that way. Now I can reference up here. And sort of go... Should be roughly parallel. And yeah, that is completely wrong. Let's full opacity that. What are those? Hold up, I need to actually look at my shelf. Oh! Right. I remember what these are. And it's so dark back here. I think I can get away with kind of just putting that much in. Yeah, it is genuinely dark enough that I can get away with putting that much. Anyway. Yeah, that won't help. I mean, it'll help for seeing my own lines. To be honest, at this point, I'm making stuff up when it comes to that little space. Do I have any idea what that stuff is from this image? No. Do I care? Also no. That's that shelf done. Unless I want to add the details, which I'll do it now. Yep, no, not that. Well, I say late night, but to be honest, it'll probably be like 5 p.m. starts, like, on average. Like, I'll never start them after 6 o'clock, so it'll probably be in the 5 to 6 range is the start. Although it does depend on what else I have to do, because for this week I'm doing some dinner making. Not all the dinner making, but some of it. Yep, nope. Huh. That works. Kind of been biasing this side, so why not go and do some of this? Why? 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 Just... Whatever. We'll ignore it. We'll ignore it. Ignoring it. I actually have to drop opacity for this. There we go. Damn, that first line was pretty good. Can't fix that. Here. Wait, okay. Where's the upper edge? I'm gonna say it's about there. Okay, now I rotate. Following the shadow. Damn, this is a chaotic section. Don't have Cyberpunk. I don't really intend to play it. Maybe. Solid maybe. But don't hold your breath. Okay, there we go. Now I know where we are in the image. I'm not going to put any details into the sock. I'm just going to have it be there. Possibly as an empty mass. That'll be funny. Well, sock, it's multiple technically. It's 2 socks rather than just 1 sock. Maybe. Probably would be. Yeah. Well, that's not really the only consideration. It needs to be what's a good game for stream, and also what's a good game for me. Because if I'm bored, then it's just gonna be bad either way. I said I wasn't going to do detail on the socks. To be honest, this is going to be the end of the detail. Let's just thin that stroke a little. I am a decent bit into my Silksong playthroughs. Yeah, I have played that. I have... Hold up. Give me a second. I have 27 hours in Silksong. And I've played at least a couple of those hours on stream. To be honest, I do kind of want to radiant every boss in Hollow Knight. It's just I get locked into boss fights, so I don't want to do it on stream. Like, locked into the point where I don't interact with chat. At least not during a boss fight, and I really like talking to chat. You guys are fun. I've played a few versions of Snake. Not enough to keep me engaged. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, what have we got left of this corner? Oh man, my eyes completely went past this thing. It's a Lego battery pack, I think? Yeah, it is. It is. But why am I saying I think? I know for a fact this is a Lego battery pack. do, 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 do. Do, do. Ring. Do, do, do. That is definitely a possibility. I will say I have played a bit of One Shot, but I haven't gotten very far into it. So I'd be, other than the first couple bits, it'd be completely blind. And even then, it's only like literally the first couple bits, because I did not get far. I can't really remember because it was also a long time ago. I mean, there's the panel up here. Did I miss any lines? We're ignoring the detail on the package. I think we did. Excellent. Dang it, I hate the tiny blind spot we have. Like, do you guys know about the tiny blind spot we have? Like, in our field of view? It is minuscule. Like, it is like... Say this is our field of view. It is like this is our field of view for one eye. It is dead center, and it is just like that. Like, that is pretty much it. And it is so annoying. And it turned up just here. On this line here. If you look directly at it, such that, that blind spot is on the line, you can't see the line. Because there's that little line there. It is so annoying. And you can also see it in the dark, because it is very obvious when you're trying to peer into darkness. Or at least very dim light. Not necessarily pure black, but very close to it. It's like maybe quarter moon on a cloudless night. That kind of light level. It's really obvious at that light level. Yeah, it's caused by the fact it's caused by the actual photosensitive cells being faced backwards. So all the nerves that go from them, they go out towards the front of the eye and have to turn around. And that blind spot comes from it's basically where the optic nerve is. So it's all the nerve fibers from the photosensitive cells going to your brain. That's where the blind spot comes from. And your brain is very good at ignoring the blind spot, I will admit that, but it does make errors in, like, these really difficult to spot lines, and, again, in the dark, where it doesn't have much information to go off. Alright. Let's zoom out and hide the reference. Oh my gosh. This is taking ages. We're most of the way there, thankfully. But there's still a lot to go. Oh boy. Yeah, sorry. We got that. Oh man. There's a straight, yeah, there's the straight line tool. It's gonna make very thick lines. The question is, do I want the thick lines here? Yeah, I can thin them out pretty easy. Yo, what happened to my voice? Jeez. That better? Yes. But it did frick up positioning. You know, I'm gonna use my mouse. It's far more precise. I can't. Right. There we go. Yeah, not visible. Yeah, I'm not gonna do the corner of the room. It is invisible. Like, holy crap. If I zoom out... significantly better. Surprisingly enough. Oh, I'm not done. Okay, yeah, I need to zoom in. Boop. Now we can hide background. There we go. Huh. Yeah, you can't even see the hinges for the cupboard because the top hinge is up here-ish, and the bottom hinge is hidden behind the guitar. Oops. Oh well. Alright, let's go back to the... Oh, not 98. Oh, What was that? Let's save real quick. Just in case, you know? Just in case. I have no idea what this little thing is. Is it a shadow? I don't think so. It's actually possible. We are going to ignore that. Okay, that's definitely shadow there. The hell is going on with my voice? Again, we can't see the corner, which I'm gonna guess is about here. No, it'd be more back here. I'm completely guessing. Like, I know for a fact that the end of this whip here is pressed up against the back. So I'm estimating the corner to be about here. But I truly don't know. That would put base edge down there. Which... solid maybe. Solid maybe. It, like, cuts through here barely. It is... oh, come on. Zoom in and rotate in order to get this. Yeah, it'd be like just under here. It's such a way that you barely see it. Reference off. Yeah, pretty good. Reference on. Reference off. Huh, I've traced everything except for this little guy here. Huh, we are almost done on the tracing. Heck yeah. Now I know why I thought there was a reflection. There isn't. It's just curving away too fast for us to see the backside. Still got to deal with somewhat reflective surfaces, but it's way easier than what I had to do before. Okay. Yep. Nope, no new layers. Oh, that's on my monitor, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Holy crap. That's all the tracing done. Damn. Stretch. What is the time? Stream has been running for 2 hours and 14 minutes at this point. I'm going to try adding in the corner. Oh. Yeah, that makes sense. We have the corner. Let's go. Ah. I reckon this is ready to start coloring. The question is, do I start coloring now or later? Or next stream? That's the question, and I'm not sure what answer should be. I reckon sketch is definitely done. I reckon sketch is pretty much done, if not completely done. Like, sure, maybe I could go around looking for details I can add in sketch. But other than that, I think sketch is done. So I'd move on to color. You know what? I'll save color for another day. I'll save adding details and color for another day. So for that, yeah. I hope everybody enjoyed the stream today. I know I did. Next, the VOD will be up on my YouTube as always, and I will definitely be streaming Sunday next week, same time as today. And I may be doing extra streams throughout the week, depending on how I feel on each day. So, for that, I hope everyone has a good week. Be safe, and I will see you next time. Bye!